area she was in. But we are so blessed again to have her. And I can't begin because I would need a long, long sheet and I'd have to have a scroll to list all of her accomplishments. But we just want you to know, Melissa, that you are ours, we are yours, and we love you.
Wow,
And welcome.
no, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Oh my God. Love you. You are awesome. So we're going to give it up for Diana, who's came here from Virginia to be with us for this awesome, epic weekend. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera off because we're going to be moving around. As Diana said, yes, we're here at our soul massage. That is another awesome way we express our wellness. So for those of you who are in the Chicago area, hopefully you can also talk to them about other ideas to bring the body back into wellness and back into balance. But let's go ahead and get started with the presentation. I'm going to first start by sharing a testimonial. You know, I really think it's important that you know a little bit more about me because sometimes you hear these fabulous introductions and it just sounds like, oh, wow. But just so you know my story, I'm very humble beginnings and had a lot of health challenges and really never knew the importance of knowing your blood type. You know, as a type A child at the time, being raised by my beautiful, amazing type O mom, you know, she fed me the same diet. And on a diet of heavy animal consumption, it cost me literally almost my life because by the time I was 19 years old, I was in emergency surgery. Really, the doctors told my grandmother I had a 50% chance of living or dying and surviving that surgery. Thank God, God had other plans. But after they had a chance to do this exploratory operation, you know, they recognized that my digestive system was really out of balance, right? In a major way that it almost killed me. And they didn't connect it to my diet. They gave me antibiotic, they gave me the surgery. And weeks later, you know, they sent me on my way after I survived it. And then I would have another near-death crisis right before turning 40. And that was literally about 11 years ago. And so I'm just grateful because someone put me in the right space at the right time so I can learn about blood types and how I could really live better and live a lifestyle that was more conducive to my blood type. So whoever invited you on the line, you want to make sure you give them their props because it really takes a lot for people to, you know, sometimes be bold enough to ask you a question. You know, sometimes people could be fearful of even getting rejected, but they cared enough to say, hey, no matter what you say, you know, they're going to invite you. And guess what? You were open enough to be on the call. And so you really want to thank them for caring enough about you to ensure you didn't miss this information, because I really believe for some people, it's going to be life-saving. Some of you are going to learn something tonight that you're going to be able to take back home to your family and friends and perhaps save somebody's life. Because I know personally, I've lost many family and friends prematurely, some of them in their 40s. And when you really go back and look at the family history, you recognize the significance of blood type and how we probably could have prevented many of those deaths if they just would have known that as a blood type A, we have lower stomach acids, so that animal meat doesn't digest. And imagine if you live a life eating animal meat and it doesn't digest in your body. That's going to cause a lot of issues. And so I'm going to go ahead and just share my slides real quick so you can see just a little bit more about the visual side of it, because I really want to show you the biggest issue that I think that's happening in this country. It starts with our diet, right? When we think about the current diet, and then you think about this, the original diet. So let's think about that. Think about your grandparents, right? Think about when we all had access to food from the garden. You know, think about that. Think about the time in which we had no processed foods, right? That's the original diet. It was really meant for us to eat from the land, to eat the fruits and the vegetables, the nuts and the seeds. But now here we are in this modern world and we're eating all this processed food. And now we're suffering consequences that we've never seen in history. Cancer rates are through the roof. We think about our kids. We've given birth to the first generation of kids that they're already telling us are going to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents. We're looking at colon cancer. It's absolutely devastating our community. We think about how many people who are now being diagnosed with colon cancer in their 20s. I mean, that was unheard of. And so we've got to start looking at the facts. There's a silent killer right now. And many of us have personally witnessed people in our family who succumb to this, and it's heart disease. We know that it's the #1 killer of every person. In 2020, nearly 700,000 people died from cardiovascular disease. About 1 in 5 of them actually are silent. So imagine having a silent heart attack where the damage is done, but you didn't even know you had a heart attack. And how I look at this, guys, is wow, if 700,000 people died, and this is something that's 90% preventable, it means there's 630,000 people that died in 2020 that didn't have to. And so we look at our kids now, because there's an alarming number of our children between the ages of 14 and 19 that are showing as much as a 40% blockage in their arteries. And there's a significance when we are African American and we turn 45. I don't know if you know what that significance is, but here's what it is. You are now more than twice as likely to die from heart disease. So think about that for a second. Sometimes we can be walking around looking like the picture of health, but imagine if your arteries to your brain are blocked and you don't know it. The arteries to the heart are blocked and you don't know it. And that basically leads to the heart attacks and the strokes, because we have dangerous amounts of plaque, and most of the time we're not aware of it. So we can look good on the outside, but it's really about what's happening below the surface, what's going on below those cells. And so what I want to do is really talk about the top 5 health concerns that are impacting our community. And let's look at the first one. The first one is, do you know your blood type? And your blood type, it's more a reliable measure of your identity than race, than culture, than geography. Do you know it's a blueprint for who you are and a guide to how you can live the most healthfully? And so we're committed to helping over 1 million people learn their blood type within the next 18 months. There are 4 distinguished types of blood types. And this is also fascinating to me. And because first you learn your blood type, then you realize there's all these different blood types, right? And so your blood type is either A, B, O, or AB. Now they say there's this new blood type now that is very rare, but it starts with like an M. I think it's like MLT. So I'm like, wow, now there's 5 blood types, okay? But these are the most common, especially here in America. And it's a powerful genetic fingerprint that identifies you as surely as your DNA. And so I'm not going to read all of this, but I want you to look at this. And if you can, you might want to take a screenshot, because they've actually looked at the characteristics of each blood type. This is widely studied, okay? A means agrarian. So we're focused on farming and livestock, leading to more stable communities. We're naturally inventive, pretty sleepless, okay? The first, immigrants. B is for balance, developed as humans migrated north into colder and harsher climates like Pakistan and India. And so we consider Bs assimilators who adapt to new climates and diverse populations. O means old because they're the oldest blood. They're the original blood, originating in Africa and migrating to Europe and Asia in search of game. They have higher stomach acid because they were hunters and gatherers, okay? And then AB is modern, it's rare, found in less than 5% of the population. And it really emerged from the intermingling of the type A Caucasians with the type B Mongolians. And it's the newest blood type. And so when you think about your blood type, you can also look at it in terms of your immune system. We have this very sophisticated immune system that really identifies whether a substance that you're taking in is a friend of the body or an enemy of the body. And one of the most powerful antigens in the human body is the one that determines your blood type. And do you know that your blood type is actually the key to your body's entire immune system? It's controlling the influence of viruses and bacteria, infections and chemicals and stress. I mean, it's amazing how it's doing all these things, but they've never taught us this in school. And many of you are learning this for the first time tonight. And so do you know that your blood type is also interacting with food and how it impacts your cells? And in fact, it's not only making it where you develop inflammation and digestive problems if you're eating the wrong thing, but you can even gain weight, or you can have trouble actually gaining weight for some people who struggle with that too. And so what happens when we eat against our blood type? We're eating these foods that are containing these protein lectins. And when these lectins are incompatible with our blood type, do you know that they actually start targeting an organ or bodily system, and they start to come together? They call that agglutination, and attacking those cells for disposal. In fact, we're creating this highly carcinogenic substance in our body when we're regularly eating outside of our blood type. And so you're probably wondering, well, I've made it this far. I didn't know my blood type. So how is my immune system protecting me from this? Well, just know that 95% of these bad lectins are actually sloughed off by the body. And here's how you can look at it. You know, there's some people who hit what I call the lottery in genetics, right? Their father and mother passes on to them, you know, all genes that have no reds or yellows, right? or maybe they have a couple yellows, but they're not very broken genes. Do you know many of us, we don't know this, but if we are presented some damaged genes from our parents, that can impact us. And that's why people say, well, some of this is hereditary. But here's the reality, guys. Your lifestyle is actually what's going to pull the trigger. Your parents can only help load the gun, but you decide whether you pull the trigger or not. So if you didn't win the genetic lottery, where you just have all these genes that keep you healthy no matter what. So that's how sometimes people can be 95 and they're smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol because they hit the genetic lottery. And so that's not something you want to gamble with. We call it playing Russian roulette because most people did not win the genetic lottery, okay? And so for many people, these lectins are going into the bloodstream. And what they're doing is they're destroying our red and our white blood cells. And over time, this is going to damage and compromise our body. And there's a consequence to eating against our blood type. It's this agglutination, where these bacteria and red blood cells clump together by antibodies, also known as agglutinins. And so we have to do what? Learn your blood type. It's critical that you learn your blood type. We've got to break the generational cycle. And we know that the power is in our hands. And let's just look at it scientifically, because we know there's an important factor before they give you blood, before you have a baby. They want to know, what your blood type is, right? They want to know, even during birth, what is the blood type of the mother? What's the blood type of the child? And it's very critical also to know the Rh factor, because if you don't know this and you have a baby, there's times there could be very dire consequences because of that. Another consequence is if you go get a blood transfusion and they give you the wrong blood. That's why they call blood O's the universal donor. They can give blood to anyone. But if you're blood type O and you mistakenly get the blood type from an A, do you know that it can actually kill you? And so now let's think about that. If you're a blood type A and now you're eating the wrong food, you're eating this O diet your whole life, could it slowly be killing you? And absolutely yes. And so let's look at this sample of the avoid list. And when you look at this, you might think, wow, a tomato, a banana, an avocado. Again, one person's food is another person's poison. And so we got to be really careful and study this list. And there's a way you can access this so you can get the complete list of what's not healthy for you. And so again, as an A, tomatoes are unhealthy. When you look at the chicken, it's detrimental to a blood type B. But 19% of African Americans are, guess what, blood type B. And then catfish. I mean, catfish is a staple in our community, but guess what? Type O shouldn't be eating catfish, nor should they be drinking white wine. And then, of course, we have the ABs, which have a combination of the A and the B blood. So there's a book that released back in 1996 by Dr. Peter J. D'Adamo, and it's called Eat Right for Your Type. If you haven't purchased this book, we highly encourage you to go ahead and do that. It's very important to read this book if you really want to understand the full way this works, because again, in the book, he talks about it's not what you do some of the time. It's what you're doing all the time. So if you eat a diet every day of chicken and you're blood type B, it's going to be much more detrimental than if you may eat it once a month or once a week, right? So you got to reduce the amount and find balance, okay? That's very important. And so why are you just learning that food is impacting your body and your blood cells based on your blood type? Let's think about where we live. I mean, this is America. It's about what? Profits. We think about what they've done with the pharmaceuticals. I mean, we look at the seniors, and the average senior is on multiple medications. Okay, that's their goal. It's long-term residual. And the bottom line is, if it wasn't taught in medical school or created by Big Pharma, they don't promote it. Okay, this is a simple solution, because we know that big business equals what? Profits over people. I mean, look at cigarettes. I don't know if you guys remember when they had commercials and the doctors were on TV smoking, encouraging their patients to smoke, to calm yourself down. And then trans fats. Margarine was widely promoted, even in the 80s and the 90s. Now it's outlawed because it creates trans fats, and trans fats are lethal. Look at the 5Gs in our neighborhood, creating a new diabetes called type 3 diabetes because of all this radiation and 5G. Genetically modified food. We know that milk is promoted so heavily in the United States. When we think about all this mucus and having these colds and allergies, do you know that many times it's our body trying to fight off the fact that we're not supposed to be consuming milk past our early childhood and infancy, okay? This is an unnatural habit that's creating an acidic environment in the body. And this is actually causing the risk of cancer to increase because the cancer cells thrive in these acidic conditions. And so you're probably wondering, like I did, well, who adheres to this philosophy and what are their results, okay? And so I wanted to study blood types. I wanted to see what countries really adapted this. And know that when the book first came out, Japan was actually the first country to just embrace it. We rejected it. I mean, all the top doctors here, you don't need to know your blood type. You go to your own doctor. They'll tell you don't need to know that. But guess what happens in Japan? They live longer than any other country in the world. Their average life expectancy is in the middle 80s, right? 84.6. And look at America. We rank 50th in the world. We have third world countries that are actually outliving us. And so there's a death tax we pay for the American lifestyle. And then when we think about African Americans, our average life expectancy is 71.8 here in the United States. So do we want to accept that? I mean, maybe if you're in your 20s, you might think, oh, I got plenty of time. But as you get older and you're like, wait a minute, at 50 and 60, you're like, no, we don't have to accept that. We can have a much longer life, but we have to look at the quality of our food. We can control our destiny. And so there's so much evidence, right? There's these anecdotal evidence that shows so many people improving their life by just adhering to these practices. See, when you follow this type of diet, you're protecting yourself from common viruses and infections. You're taking a stand against life-threatening diseases. You can achieve your ideal weight. You can slow the aging process. You can cleanse your body of toxins and unhealthy fats. Now, let's look at the number 2 issue right now. And that's something called oxidation. I mean, if you look at that banana, I mean, it doesn't take long for a banana to do what? To start rotting. I mean, look at those bolts, right? They're already rusting. And so researchers have identified one of the most important contributors to heart disease, to wrinkles, to cancer, and all the other problems associated with getting older. Guess what? We are literally rotting, from the inside out. And so what do we need to combat that? We need antioxidants. We need fruits. We need vegetables. These are loaded with plant compounds. And these disable those cancer-causing substances. But we also need fat. I tell people all the time, we have a fat crisis in America. When I say that, they think obesity. Nope. I'm talking about, now that's a problem too, but I'm talking about the fact that we're eating too many bad fats. And bad fats like trans fats, omega-6 fats, are so deadly, they lead to this heart disease. But guess what the one fat we're deficient? Omega-3. That's the fat that actually helps our brain to function. It helps to reduce anxiety. It helps to reverse obesity. It's our peaceful fat that helps our brain just to feel better, to more stabilized. A lot of times when they find people that have schizophrenia and other issues, they're severely deficient in omega-3. Where do we get omega-3 from? From all those healthy things like walnuts, your pecans, your sardines, your salmon. And so the deficiency leads to cardiovascular, cognitive, chronic inflammation, metabolic issues, immune issues, bone health issues. I mean, there's just such a list of what this deficiency leads to. Then we have to protect our gut. I mean, we need fiber, we need prebiotics, we need probiotics, we need to detoxify. We know that our immune system, 70% of that is where? It's in that gut. And finally, we need to get rid of those parasites. The average person is walking around with so many parasites, and it's kind of disgusting, but let's look at the facts. They're doing autopsies, and they're finding that there's a presence of parasites in our organs, in our brain, our liver, our lungs, even in people they didn't suspect to be infected. And so what this means is parasites can live in our bodies silently without causing any symptoms, leading to a silent invasion. And so what we're going to do real quick, we're going to talk about some of the products. And I am here with our nurse, phenomenal Elizabeth Thompson. And I know you are a phenomenal powerhouse distributor. You're a Sapphire distributor, right?
I am.
Yeah, and we're not on camera, so don't worry about that. She was about to comb her hair. Okay. But I want to do this real quick. I'm going to read our disclaimer, but I want you, because I think it's important because you come from the medical profession, right?
I do.
And so you know a lot about people suffering because you're there with them, right? And she's an A blood too, like me.
Yeah.
And I know you've had some personal things that happen in your own family.
Yes.
Because we just didn't know our blood type. So it's important, I think. Yeah, I'm the CEO of the company. You might think, okay, of course she's going to say this. But you know what? We believe in what we're doing because we're witnessing so many lives being changed. So I think it's important that we validate this with people that have nothing to gain other than telling you the truth of what's changed their life. Because in telling you that, it might save somebody on this line tonight. And so know that you can take a screenshot of the disclaimer. So it's important that you understand this is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. If you're on any medication, you're pregnant, nursing, talk to your doctor, okay? And so let's talk about the bitters.
The bitters.
And I want you to do that real quick for me, because I think it's important that they see that these are products that are changing lives. So as a nurse, Elizabeth, you know, as someone who's been in the medical field for how long?
53 years.
53. And you look like you're 53. So I don't know how that happened, right?
Yay, I love it.
And if you've ever watched Saturday Night Live, you saw her son on Saturday Night Live. She's got 2 Emmy award-winning children, okay? So she's fabulous all the way around, so talented. But talk to them about bitters and why you think this is important based on all that you're seeing in the medical world.
I like bitters because they help. They help change our digestion, boost our immunity. I have personally enjoyed the bitters, even though they taste terrible. But once you get them down, and I use some lemon juice, lemon drops in my bitters 4 days in a row, 8 ounces for 4 nights in a row. And they help our digestion. They stimulate the production of digestive enzymes, bile, and stomach acid, which are essential to our well-being. I think we all need to work on improving our well-being and how our bodies digest and assimilate and eliminate our food. Bitters also help to regulate the appetite and reduce cravings for unhealthy foods. I have a friend right now who is looking for something to help her with reducing the cravings. And so I passed on bitters to her, and hopefully she will follow the suggestion and work with that. Bitters also support liver detoxification by filtering out toxins from the blood. And also eliminating fat-soluble toxins through the digestive system. We have food comes in through the mouth and eventually goes through the full digestive system and out through the rectum. And we want to be able to eliminate those. But in the process, water is absorbed, reabsorbed, eliminated, and et cetera, et cetera. And there are people who have various digestive issues, Crohn's disease, several other of those serious digestive situations, and they end up oftentimes on steroidal type drugs to help reduce the inflammation of that process. Crohn's and colitis, they're very, very serious, and they really impact how you feel when you eat. So the purpose for bitters is to help with that if you choose. It also helps to improve the gut microbiome by promoting growth of beneficial bacteria and inhibiting the harmful bacteria. So depending on how we do and what we want to achieve in our lives, whether we want to lose weight, feel better, whatever, we can also do a cleanse with either a 7-day or a 21-day raw cleanse. And we had a primary example of some of the raw foods that we have to offer when we had our battle of the blood types yesterday here at the dispensary. It was amazing, and we had great food samples. So, yeah.
That is awesome. You are a pro at this. I tell you, she's here. We're having fun. And you flew in from where? Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yes.
On Thursday. I was so excited to get here and be able to participate in this process. And I have some inflammatory issues of my own that I'm dealing with. And so after years and years and years of dealing with the discomfort in a hip, I decided that now is the time for me to make a surgical decision. So I have done that. And in the next few weeks, I will be a patient.
Say, watch out, world, right?
Yeah, watch out.
And you have all
I'll
your
come back dancing full force.
Yes, yes. Well, you are just a pro. I want you to kind of be my co-pilot tonight because it's so fun studying with a nurse of 53 years. I mean, that is pretty awesome. She's been a nurse longer than I've been alive. Okay. That is pretty phenomenal. And so one of the things we're also excited about is we have to replace the food we're eating. We're eating so much processed junk, garbage food. We're not getting enough nutrition. We looked at that. We have a medical advisory board with over a dozen plus, probably over 20 medical doctors and nurses with these 53-year experiences, right? And so we recognize that we need something to help support the blood, to give those antioxidants so we don't have to rot and rust at an accelerated rate, to get that omega-3 fat, to get that gut health and prebiotic and probiotic, to get rid of those parasites. And so this is the first meal replacement. We call it fuel, flat belly fuel. We say break the cycle, fuel your future. And this Choco Berry is so delicious. Introducing the world's first meal replacement is custom formulated for your blood type to help communities build generational health and create their own blue zone, okay? And so in this, it's also some awesome things like our cracked chlorella, which is amazing. In fact, we have certain ingredients that we put in there because we know we have to clean the blood. And one of the things I love about cracked chlorella, it works to purify the blood. In fact, it's only one nutrient, right, away, because chlorophyll, if you know anything about chlorophyll is one nutrient away from being almost identically to your blood. And that's why it cleans out the blood, it purifies the blood. And so when you think about people that are dealing with things like tumors and, just things that really impact their bodies, typically they're lacking some of these powerful purifiers like the greens. I mean, think about in your diet, how many dark green vegetables are you eating every day? And so we have a way to put this in your body every single day. We have something called sea buckthorn. I'm not sure if you've studied this one yet, but sea buckthorn is phenomenal. It's not only got omega-3, it's got omega-6, it's got omega-7, it's got omega-9. See, something about essential fatty acids, it means they're essential to life. The body cannot make them. So we have to consume them through food. Unfortunately, most of us are consuming too much omega-6, and that leads to heart attacks and strokes at a younger age. And so we have to find ways to get more omega-3, more omega-7. What the 7 does, it helps to regulate fat cells, which is why people on sea buckthorn also find losing weight is a part of what their experience has been. And then, of course, that omega-3 is life-changing. And this is the #1 source of vegan omega-3, 6, 7, and 9. Okay, it's in fact one of the very few omega-3 fatty acids that actually has the 7 in it. And so we consider our product the game changer because it has all of these amazing ingredients in it. Then, of course, we know about ashwagandha. You're hearing about that more and more. It's going to help with energy production. There's so many benefits. Even they've studied some anti-tumor effects with ashwagandha. Really helps to give you the fuel and the focus you need to get through the day. And so we put these aronia berries in there also, right?
Yay.
And they're so delicious, right? We love aronia berry, but inside of there, it just adds a whole nother element. So let's look at this chart real quick, because I know we've all heard about antioxidants, but look at how many blueberries you would have to eat to get the same benefit as the aronia berry. I mean, it's pretty dramatic, but that's the standard aronia berry. If you look at our aronia berry, it's harvested in a proprietary way, and we get 2.5 times the antioxidant power. So remember, in order to stop the rotting process, to stop the rusting process, we need lots of antioxidants. And so by having your fuel every day, taking that as a meal replacement, you're loading your body with that antioxidant protection, okay? Because you would literally have to eat hundreds of berries, okay, to get the same level of protection. And we know that the antioxidants are even more critical than the omega-3. The second thing that's most critical would be the omega-3. And so our vision is a world where every individual has access to the nutrition and resources they need to thrive, leading to healthier, wealthier, and more resilient communities. We aspire to be a catalyst for global change, fostering a future free from the limitations of disease and poverty, where every corner of the globe flourishes. So tell me, Elizabeth, from your perspective, you've had a chance to try the new fuel. What do you think about this new meal replacement?
I like the fuel a lot. I find though that it says you can replace 2 meals a day at least. I'm having one of these and then a meal. and I'm done for the day.
Wow.
I get so full, and maybe it's because I have a 16-ounce bottle of my fuel shake. I make it as a smoothie, and usually with a banana, which is not on my plan as an aid, but I like the consistency it
me
gives.
too.
And then with some berries,
Mm.
either raspberries or blueberries, and water. Or since we've been on the cleanse, I always have juice that we use on our juicing plan. So I pour the juice in with it as well. And it makes a fabulous meal. I love it. I love the taste. I love the fullness that I get. And I felt like I had started to waste a little bit at age 75.
Oh my God,
And
you're
so
75?
I'm 75.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
You
I
look so
started
young.
taking
Oh my
it,
God.
and I feel like my muscles and skin tone are better. There's not the sagging that I thought I was witnessing there a few weeks back. So I'm
that
very thrilled with
amazing?
it.
Well, sea buckthorn is phenomenal for the skin, but you also have HMB. We didn't even talk about that, but HMB is a vegan type branched chain amino acid, and it's working with the body to build muscle even while you're sleeping. One of the
Mhm.
biggest challenges with growing older, if we're not eating the right proteins, if we're not working out, we start losing muscle.
I've got muscle now.
Yeah, well, very good. That is exciting, guys. So we are just learning so much tonight because it's our goal to create Blue Zone communities. It's our goal to be the first Blue Zone company in the world. And we want to help create Blue Zone families, okay? Because there's 6 areas in the world where people eat far less animal meat, they eat far less processed food, and guess what? They live longer than average. And it's not that they cut out all the animal meat. It's about balance. Like you look at Japan, they might eat chicken a couple times a month, but it's a chicken that's eating grass. It's a pasture-raised chicken, right? Let's say they eat beef in Loma Linda, which they're going to eat it where it's going to actually be grass-fed, and maybe they do it once a month and they don't overcook it. We tend to overcook our beef, and that's what leads to more deaths than any other war out there. More deaths from beef, guys, because we're overcooking it. So if you're out there, you like your steak well done, you're eating all that barbecue, all that's going to do is kill your colon. So we want to get rid of those bad habits, have more fruits and vegetables, lean towards fish, sardines. If you're going to have chicken, do pasture raised. And you're going to find in moderation, you're going to be so much healthier because that's what the Blue Zones do. So these are just a few testimonials. I mean, you can see, from Kim Elias. She's there in Austin, Texas, to Dr. Prince, our naturopath. He's one of our product formulators for the Flat Belly Cleanse. And then, of course, we have our Scott Reese, who lost 30 pounds in 21 days. So just a lot of great success with these products, guys. I mean, pictures speak for themselves. And I've represented a lot of companies, many of them were multi-billions of dollars. And I've never seen a system work this effectively, because we're just getting back to the original, getting back to our original diet, more raw food, and then just healthy supplements. And look at Mary G. Every time I see her, it's like you would think she had liposuction. It took 9 months, guys, so this doesn't happen overnight. For some people, yeah, their belly gets much flatter in 21 days, but it's a process, okay? But look at this, guys. 2 years later, she's got this new lease on life. And we say care for your body because it's the only place you have to live. And so your starter kit. So if you are interested in what you've heard so far, and now you want to know, well, how can you join us? What can you do to be the catalyst in your family and kick this off? Well, you want to get a blood type starter kit. If you don't know your blood type, you need the number 1, okay? If you know your blood type, you can go ahead and do the number 2. And if you actually get this kit number 1, it's the blood type test, the bitters, the detox meal plan, sample meal replacement, shake fuel, and then your individual digital blood type download, okay? The only difference with 2 is you don't get the blood type test kit. And then we give you this digital yes list. And I love the yes list because sometimes we get focused on the fact that, oh my God, I can't eat this anymore. We didn't say you can't eat it ever again. You just got to listen to the rules of the book. And it says just 80-20. Try to focus 80% of your diet around foods that are for your blood. So if you see it in black, it just means it's neutral. If you see it in green, it means it's highly beneficial. We even break up the list so we can show you the blue zone areas. So when you see it in blue, that means these are blue zone foods. So you want to focus on the blue zones. If you see it in yellow, it might be for your blood, but it says, hey, guess what? You want to restrict that. You don't want to have it every day just because it's for your blood. And if you see it in orange, it might be for your blood, but we say warning, okay? Just because you might find chicken is on your blood type list if you're eating it every day, you're going to still end up with prostate issues, okay? I mean, when you eat animals and we overeat them, they clog our heart, they clog our colon. So everything in moderation. So this medicine list will literally change your life, and you get all of this when you purchase one of those starter kits, okay? And so this comprehensive health test, it includes the blood type starter kit. It's valued at $1,000. And that omega-3, it's going to be critical for you to know what your score is, so you'll know, are you healthy there? Because that's one thing you can do right now to help prevent a heart attack or stroke, is just have your omega-3 in the right ratio. And we can check that when we do the scan. Your gut health, vitamins and minerals. A lot of times these deficiencies are passed down to us from our parents. So now that you know, man, I have these deficiencies, we have to supplement, okay? Heart, liver, and kidneys. These are critical elements that we need to test for, valued at over $1,000. With our special, we allow you to get tested for $189, and that does include your blood type starter kit. So you can get all of that for $189. But what we're super excited about, our goal is to create these Blue Zone families. In order to do that, we got to make this affordable and accessible. So if you decide today that you want to enroll in AutoShip, right, where you not only do your AutoShip for $59.95, but you also add on, your $50 comprehensive test, because we're going to make it available for just $50. You're paying $109, and we're giving you all of that: the comprehensive test, the starter kit, a large bag of the fuel, and your family digital list. Guys, that's a huge, huge value that we really want to stress to everyone that you want to partake in. And so some of the additional products that we offer, of course, we have our CBD, our original product, our skincare, our hair care, our weight loss, and essential oils. Now, I will go ahead and bring up a few testimonials as I close this out, but I want to drop this fact. It's estimated that 1% to 5% of Americans who are aware of their blood type might have experimented or followed the blood type diet. And when I saw that, Elizabeth, I was blown away, because I'm like, wow, I'm just grateful that God put in our path the right people to bring us to where we're at, but we're just a very small percentage of the country.
Right.
And that's a wide open opportunity. So if you are business minded, put your business cap on, because there is an opportunity attached to this. And to prove the opportunity, we had our battle of the blood types, and we could not have enough space. I mean, it was like hundreds and hundreds of people packed out our facility yesterday, and they were all there asking, what is my blood type and how do I eat for it? And it was just such an exciting day.
It was.
And we're going to do this in April, guys. We're going to kick off our convention, and the convention's theme is Battle of the Blood Types.
Oh.
We're doing it at a 27,000 square foot facility. We are anticipating 10,000 people, guys. And so if you want to be a part of history, we're going to help impact over 1 million people in the next 18 months. And it really is going to not only kick off already, because it's kicked off now, but it's going to really get jumped off, okay, at the conference. And everybody I know is going to want to fly in for that. And so our goal, again, is to have 1.5% of the people here in the United States to learn their blood type. And we want to accomplish that goal within an 18-month period. And so let's do this real quick. I'm going to just look out here and see who I might have out there who can bring up and give a quick testimonial on anything that's happened with them as it relates to the blood type diet. I see one of our busy bees on the line, our James Mitchell. I also see Kayetta. So you guys get ready, because I'm going to call out to you. So you can go ahead. Let me just ask you guys to unmute real quick. So 1 second. So let me ask you to unmute James first. There we go. So if you can unmute, and then Kayetta, I ask you to unmute too. So if you can unmute. What I want to do, James, is as a busy blood type V, okay? You competed in the battle. I mean, you guys showed up and showed out. I loved your bee theme. I mean, that was so awesome. And your food was absolutely delicious, okay? And so can you just share with everyone, how this blood type diet has changed your life?
Well, the blood type diet has changed my life because I've had a couple of health challenges. And since I've started eating for my blood type, I feel like a 1,000% better. I'm not showing you my picture because I did a 5K run this morning, and I'm kind of reclining in my bed.
5K, and how young are you, James?
I am 73 years old.
Wow.
Yes.
But I do want to say that what I found is that some things that I did not like, or I thought that I liked, and I'm eating that are against my blood type. I've noticed that I tend to have some problems when I do it. Like, think about not eating chicken. But since I've stopped eating chicken, I've stopped having acid reflux, and I love eating shellfish. But since I've stopped eating shellfish, I feel a lot better because you don't know until you know. And so I would advise anyone to take time, get their, to take their blood test, which is really simple, and once you find out, what your issues are regarding your blood, and start eating for your blood type, and not eating those things that are against your blood type, you'll feel a whole lot better. I'm a prostate cancer survivor, and I am a aneurysm survivor. And so if I had not changed my lifestyle in the way I've eaten, I would probably have had more complication with these problems. But I haven't, and I'm a busy bee, and so I'm being positive, and I'm shouting out to all my other busy bee brothers because we and sisters, because we know what's happening, because we be about it, because we okay. And so that's all I got to say. And I love my Akana family. I love my CEO, Melissa Boston. She's a very, very knowledgeable young lady who has a vision, and also, oh wow, okay. There's so many people in Akana that I need to shout out, like Phyllis Nash, who also is a visionary, and who helps us get healthy. And the new vision that we have to create blue zones in our own homes, it's changing lives. I'm going to share one quick thing, and I'm going to let it go. I was talking to my younger daughter the other day, and we were in the car, and my younger daughter, was driving down the street, and I said, "Wow, I know a sister, a friend of mine, who's, she's lost 3 family members in the past year, and they're all were 50 or under, and she was driving, getting ready to go to Jersey Mike's. Kyra is a distributor too, and she turned her car around and said, Mom and Dad, I'm going to go home and fix something to eat at home." So the influence, not only for us but our family, is very positive, and so be positive. Okay.
Wow, thank you for sharing. And as you're sitting here too, I'm like, you know what? You have really done so much. I know your family's on this whole health mission, and you guys are kind of like a dynamic duo, Elizabeth, you and James and Ma, because you both have produced 2 fabulous sons who were on the movie Good Burger. They're the stars, the superstars, right?
They're
of the franchise. They're partners. And so it just tells you guys this is getting out everywhere. And so you want to catch hold to this. You want to jump on this. You want to be about it, right? And you want to be positive, okay?
And shout out to Elizabeth Ann, who is my little big sister. Okay.
You're welcome, James, anytime.
Awesome. Thank you for that, James. And we have one more testimonial, and then we're going to close it out. We will not do the training today. Dr. Betty will be back next week doing a 15-minute training just to kind of get you started for those who want to know more about how do I do my bitters, how does the process work. On Tuesdays, you can join her for a full 1-hour training. And so if you want to get details on that, go with the person who invited you. But Kayetta, our fabulous AB out there, who's really, I know your life has changed. It was amazing seeing how many people in your circle are ABs. Kayetta was really a one-woman show. She represented for all the ABs, and she filled up almost 1 sheet of paper. I know, James, I think you had a couple AB guests too, but it was crazy how Kayetta had a whole list of AB guests there. And so that just shows you this is a movement. We are really changing lives. Kayetta comes with decades of experience across multiple industries, and already with our business, she's off to such a fast start. We appreciate you, Kayetta. If you can come on just quickly and share what's happened with you and your family since you learned your blood type not long ago. Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. I am super, super excited. I am an AB positive. I just found out my daughter is an AB positive. My son is a B positive, and we are so excited about being on this health journey with Akana. I want to just thank you, Melissa, and Minister Mooney, and so many others for the leadership and taking ownership and leading the way to creating these blue zones and definitely reaching out to one another and then ultimately reaching out to the families. And so I'm excited about making a difference with my family, with my community, our community. Yes, this is my a third week on my cleanse. I was doing a 21-day cleanse for my birthday. I kicked it off and had a room full of people that are very special to me, from spiritual backgrounds, high school backgrounds, family background, and none of them knew their blood type. None of them knew their blood type, and so they left that room. They left my event knowing their blood type. In a group, we got together and we did a cleanse together. I lost 13 pounds in the first 7 days, and it was not difficult. It was not disgusting. It wasn't nasty. It was really amazing the difference that I felt. I feel more in tune with my body, have so much energy. Everywhere I go, everyone's like, you look so amazing, and it's just absolutely the ABs, brought an absolute balance into my life, right? And so I'm excited about that, but I'm also excited about being infectious with my friends and their parents, their families, and I just added a new distributor to my organization yesterday. So I'm so excited about that. They came out to the event, had friends come out to the events, and they are A's, B's, ABs, right? So we're excited about taking this thing to the next level because guess what? We got to get rid of the diabetes. We got to get rid of the high blood pressure. We got to take ownership in our health so we can leave a great legacy of great health. So I'm just so excited to be a part of this family and part of the team. Back to you. Wow, Kayada, that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that powerful testimonial. I mean, you guys have heard a lot tonight, so I know you are just pretty blown away like I am. I mean, no matter how many times I hear this, it just reiterates what we have and how we have to get this message out. So at this point, I'm going to just say there's 3 types of people on the line. The first person, you're a person number 1. You're really curious about these products and you want to go ahead and get your hands on the products. You maybe want to get the blood type starter kit. Perhaps you have some serious issues. You want to get more in depth into maybe a 7-day cleanse. Get with the person who invited you. They're going to give you the details so that you can make the right decision for you. And so just remember that you're a person number 1. The next person, you're kind of in the middle. You're not sure whether you're leaning towards products or maybe more about the opportunity, but you're definitely someone with lots of questions. And so if that feels like you, a lot of questions that you want to get answered, you're what I call a person number 2. So just remember that. And then the final person on the line, you're really recognizing there's a big opportunity here. You know, I've been a part of several major market shifts. I was able to have the fortunate pleasure of retiring when I was just 33 years young. And I retired because I caught something at the right place at the right time. This blood type, it's a big deal. We're going to revolutionize how healthcare is in this country, guys. And so if you are excited about being part of a big, big vision, and if you want to go out there and help us impact the world, and if you're looking for something in this economy where we know people are feeling the insecurity of the economy, well, guess what? We have an awesome solution with just helping to care enough about people to ask them a simple question. Do you know your blood type? That's what it takes. And that can absolutely change the world. And so with that being said, you want to thank you for your time this evening. Get with the person who invited you and get those questions answered. And let's go ahead and get on your products, right? And so we're going to look at the chat too. I know we take this. Oh, you looking for the touch screen?
I have a touch screen.
We'll look at the chat too. Just make sure there's no questions as we close it out. They're saying, thank you. Wow, great testimonial. Thank you, love. Just lots of love, guys. Okay.
Hey.
Well, awesome. Good stuff. Go Team Diamonds. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good stuff, guys. Well, with that being said, you guys have done it. Thank you, Margaret. Yes. Thank you, Kayette. Thank you, everybody. Teamwork makes the dream work. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm here with this fabulous crew who's came from Atlanta and Virginia. So I know they're here until when are you here till tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Oh.
We leave around
So
12:30.
we're gonna have to get us some food or something. I bought some kale. I was gonna make some kale salad. You know, us A's, we always trying to get some greens in, right?
We are.
Make me a smoothie, okay? We like to eat healthy, and I got some sardines in my bag, too, right?
Okay.
That is such a right? And so with that being said, guys, love you all. Have a phenomenal day, and we're gonna talk to you next Sunday. Bye
Thank
for now.
y'all.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Go team, Diana, James, and Elizabeth.
Great job, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, it's mine.
Appreciate it. Girl, we've been at
Don't
this
leave out.
and screaming and dancing. I'm hoarse too. I'm trying to step.
Hello, my amazing Mama Joe.
Oh, think we'll do the
Yes, hi, Diana, you and Elizabeth. It was great. And James, my team did it this evening. Go team.
Oh, we got something for y'all.
Brother James,
Yeah.
anyway, I mean, you can't help it. It's all right.
other.
At least you married a
We're exhausted though. From the event on Saturday and then the run this morning, we are exhausted. But we're okay. We can get in our fuel in. We're gonna be all right.
How was your run?
It was great. It was really great. I'm glad we just did the 5K. The 13 miles would have been a bit much today. So we just did the 5K,
Congratulations.
which
That's
was great.
My shoe.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, I see
feel
y'all in that.
good.
Yes, and I see y'all in there.
Oh, we'll be
right.
there next week.
right, John girl.
We'll be at the we'll be there next week.
Awesome. Come and recover from your 5K, girl. Getting this infrared.
That's
sound.
right. Oh yes. Yes. And the battle of the blood types.
Oh, yes.
That was rough, but it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yes. Thank y'all. Good
Well,
night.
listen,
I need
I
some of them old greens,
rebounded.
but y'all got a shout out for that beef stew. Vegan beef stew.
And
Willie Mooney made
and
got it down, especially with them
and
hot
Phyllis-
dogs.
Now
And
the
shout out
Phyllis's
to our
ribs.
rebounders. Our rebounders with the Connor, Diana, and Queen Elizabeth. You all,
feeling better.
I'm feeling great. Looking at you two, I feel fantastic.
Yeah, but don't come over here. Yeah. Hey.
You all look
Get an
great.
A some love too with that macaroni.
All right.
We appreciate you guys. We love you all.
Good
And you
night.
can tell they're gonna be partying all night.
Yeah.
We're ready for it.
Okay.
And Phyllis, shout out to Phyllis's ribs, vegan ribs. They were the bomb.
If I had got some, I know.
Okay.
Love it.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Later,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Blessings on blessings.
Blessings on blessings.